Yeah, so I don't know if you had a chance to see some of this interesting conversation that's been making the rounds across social media. Somehow sparked with some people insinuating that JT the Bigger Figure, obviously a popular West Coast artist, you'll be familiar with him yourself. Has been accused of scamming like Mexican people or something to that effect. So let's check this out, and then we'll get check out a couple of clips, and then we'll get into some conversation and stuff. So this is posted from a YouTuber called A Wild Situation. I'm guessing they're Mexican in its title. JT the Bigger Figure been scamming the Raza. So let's hear a little excerpt.
Scamming Norteños. He has been scamming Mexicans. Industry, do not do business with JT the Bigger Figure. He has been scamming Norteños. He has been scamming Mexicans in general from Atlanta, from LA. There's been a numerous Mexicans coming forward saying that he has been scamming the Raza. That showed me proof. And I already know this. I already knew JT the Bigger Figure was like this. So in my head, I'm like, fuck, why the fuck would you guys even fuck with this dude? He sold them a dream, homie. He told them he'll get them features from this because he does, or well, he did have contacts and connections within the music industry. He did, homie, at one point. But he
So yeah, but we'll get off that one real quick. I mean, we do apologize obviously for some of the language and stuff being used. He sounds a bit slanderous, like he sounds like he has a bit of a an issue with JT, but we'll see a response from JT and just hearing, I guess, some of his response to the situation. Here we see another video says JT the Bigger Figure exposed as a degenerate after all these years, letting us know how he feels. So people are saying that he's sparking some kind of issues
Check that
with
shit,
the
boy.
Mexican community.
That's what you hear me doing. I'm willing to lose all my Mexican support right now. Puerto Rican support, Guatemalan support, El Salvadorian. I'm ready to lose all their support right now on what I'm saying and standing on. They could all unfollow me, unsubscribe, or whatever. I wouldn't give a fuck. Nigga, the black man is strong. Nigga, we don't dick ride no fucking whites, Mexicans, and nobody else, nigga. Nigga, keep this shit strong right now. Nigga, we going into the future, nigga. When we finna get the ball back, nigga, everybody finna have to get a ball. Yeah. Wait till Africa saying over here, nigga. See, I ain't put that out there. Wait till you hear what all the young niggas in Africa, nigga, 21 and under saying. Nigga, they talking about cutting everybody out, nigga. Nigga, the whole world gonna be ours, nigga. We gonna get it back, nigga, how we supposed to have it. That's what they screaming over here.
So there we see another short clip, and I believe, before we really get into this one, there might be one more, or maybe potentially it's the same clip we see. Even here, we see this was posted on JT's Instagram.
Bad to Mexico.
JT the Bigger Figure bad in Mexico. He says, "Damn, what did I do? I guess I'm gonna have to stay in Africa. Mexico don't want me." But we see, in the comments, people saying I'm Mexican, but I ain't picking sides. We united. Some people saying, it's all love and stuff. We've seen, JT on his social media, he's posted that people are being racist and trying to infiltrate issues in the black community and stuff like that. So quite a lot of different contexts are going on. We don't have Mexicans out here like in that kind of capacity in the UK. Obviously, he's speaking from how things are out there in the West. So I mean, just looking at, I guess, all this what's going on and stuff. What do you think of all this, man?
First of all, shout out to that nigga JT the Bigger Figure. That's my partner. I met the nigga a couple of times. A cool dude. But the funny, see, at first when I first encountered this story, I thought that it was something racial. Like, you know what I'm saying? The Mexicans is acting funny with the blacks and all that type of shit. But now I see what it is. And so what JT is saying is some real shit, for the black man and strong, and we taking over the future and all that. He's correct motherfucking mundo about that. But my thing is that why he not saying nothing about the bad business that the Mexicans is talking about? You feel what I'm saying? He didn't address that. So I'm not saying that he's doing any type of foul business, but I'm just saying it's just hella funny. You know what I'm saying? That they accuse him of that. And then when he addresses it, he doesn't address. Maybe it's something else that he had recorded and I ain't seen it yet. But that's what the Mexicans is talking about, is that he doing bad business. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as JT doing that, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing about that brother doing that. When I see him, he be cool, talking about some righteous shit. You know what I'm saying? Going back to Africa like he's supposed to. But ain't no telling, like Jack told Helen. It's funny to me, but I want to know what business that he was doing. I want to know what he's supposed to, how much money he didn't got away
think
with.
it stemmed from a few different sort of online reports. You know, obviously with the online stuff, sometimes you gotta take it with a grain of salt. However, he's kind of insinuated through some of his comments and stuff that they're trying to be divisive with him and other black people and stuff. And he was like, but then when we see that video, they're saying directly that he's scamming the Raza. That's what it's labeled as. And
Oh shit, he did made it a hood thing on the Rasta.
I don't know, you know, it's like it seems like different people have kind of jumped on sides with it, but in the middle of it, it spun a bit of a either argument or discourse within just the relationship between the black community and the Mexican community out there in the West Coast and stuff.
Well, you know,
We've seen JT kind of lean on it from a socio-political aspects and say that he feels as though they're secondary in one aspect to some of the oppression that they experience from like white people within America at the same time. So it's definitely drew some interesting conversation around.
yeah, it is an interesting conversation. You know, all jokes aside, let's keep it all the way 100 and keep it all the way real. You know, blacks and Latinos are in the same neighborhood. We grew up in the same neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? But it seems like, you know, I'm in my late 40s, so I didn't seen this shit of going to Inglewood High and seeing the Mexicans and blacks having riots and all that. That shit come from jail. It come from the Mexican mafia. You know, the difference is, you know, I'm really from these streets, so I know what it really is. And so, you know, you'll have the blacks, the black gangbangers that get at the Hispanic gangbangers, like we about to get at the essays, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But the only difference is the essays do different shit. Like the shot to get called, like, okay, we want you to kill the very first black that you see, and the very first black that they may see may be a mother with her daughter, walking with her daughter in a stroller, and they gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't throwing no shades. I ain't throwing no shades on the Mexicans or nothing like that. I'm not doing that. I'm just trying to say that, you know, the difference between, we in the same fucking neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? When I used to go to a Catholic school, our team, our football team played football. Our quarterback was Mexican, Pedro. You know what I'm saying? And so he caught a lot of flack because he hung out with blacks. And when the beef would pop off, I would go right over to his house, and his mother be over there making ceviche and all that shit. So I'm not throwing no shades on the Mexicans. I got a lot of love. I got a gang of homies that's essays. But what I do see is there's a lot of racial shit that's going on. You know, they quick to call people niggas and niggers and all that type of shit. But you got a fade and you got a Kobe jersey on and you got some Jordans on. I'm like, what, they ain't niggas? Well, that's different, Holmes. You know what I'm saying? It'd be hella funny. I feel like the one thing I do admire about the Mexicans and the Latinos is that they stick together. You know what I'm saying? And they call a shot and it goes down like that. When they had they uprising, when they stopped in LA, they stopped coming to work for like a day or two. LA fell apart like a bad burrito. It was terrible. You know what I'm saying? It was like LA couldn't even function without that shit. They made their point. They got their money and they went on. That's the only thing that black people, we need to be doing, instead of cutting each other throat for something small and disrespecting your whole race. Sometimes you got to look at this killing the shit that we doing. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for people to respect it. You know what I'm saying? You can't stand for something. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm in the middle with it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't with all that racist shit. I'm not with none of that. But at the same time, I do see it a lot. You know, I feel like it's racist when black people, okay, like they brought us here. They brought us to America. We didn't come here. They brought us here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have a country to go to, but at the same time, when y'all get around each other, sometimes Mexicans try to treat black people like white people used to treat black people. And that's some real shit. Or talk Spanish. I used to tell black people, learn Spanish. Learn Spanish. You could be standing around them and they be talking, they about to cut your fucking head off, and you sitting there smiling, looking stupid. You know what I'm saying? And they do that. But for the real Hispanics that's colorblind, they don't care about that, but they still love their race, I give them a big up to that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody racial. I'm just speaking the truth and seeing what I see.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of points in there that definitely I'd say jump out. I mean, you know, well, one point I'd say it's definitely been documented, even though maybe not publicly, and I know they don't want to get into a lot of things. I believe they call it critical race theory and stuff, but there was black or so-called black people on that landmass, the Americas, before the Europeans and stuff. And so albeit even though they did bring a proportion of people there with the transatlantic slave trade, we can't forget that there was black inhabitants of that landmass and just the planet Earth ultimately before other groups and nations came into being. So also amidst that, when we're looking at just the Mexicans, or as we say, even like the Latinos and stuff, we have to give it up and know that early foundations of hip hop was created by blacks and Latinos.
And Latinos,
Whether
they was
that
there.
be the music, whether that be the dancing and different kind of aspects. God bless the dead, Shabba, one of my good friends and icons and stuff, same sort of thing. He came from that sort of strand at the same time. And
Right,
there were
and Crazy Legs from out the
people
Bronx, you know what I'm saying? Crazy Legs and all that, you know what I'm saying? The breakers.
when you talk to people like that from that kind of era, there wasn't as much, I guess, separation as we probably see now with disenfranchised people. Whereas you say now there's probably a bit more of the influence of racism and white supremacy, where people have adopted that mindset in different groups now, and it's playing out where now as you said, you probably got Mexicans and Latinos being a bit more egregious to black people, whereas in the 70s and different kind of eras and aspects, they was looking at it like they had that camaraderie. It was a bit more, they had a bit more togetherness. And I think it's kind of interesting because I'm going to see if I can pull up a clip that sort of coincides, and it's from a
You want to know the difference? If it's a lot of racial shit going on right now, and people try to act like that it's not, but it's been surfacing and bubbling up. Like you can tell the race card has always come to fact. Go to New York. I'll be in New York a lot. Go to New York and try to talk to some of the Dominican girls or the Puerto Rican girls.
this is on Talib Kweli's podcast recently, and it's Ida Rodriguez on the dynamic between Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. Now, this is just a quick clip, but I think there's even some nuggets in here that coincide with the conversation.
It's white supremacy. It's the worst thing that ever happened to Latinos, Hispanic, Afro, Puerto Ricans. I would say I have to Rosa's in my head.
Shout out to Rosa Clemente.
Rosa Clemente, my sister. But the truth is, the worst thing that ever happened to us is that they gave us flags. Because they divided us in a way where now we like to flex on each other, right? Colombia and Venezuela, beef. Puerto Rico and the Dominican, beef. Colombia and Panama, beef. And it's white supremacy at work. And it's like you're walking around with a colonizer's flag, speaking the colonizer's language, shaming other people because they don't speak Spanish, right? But that's not my native tongue. My native tongue is Arawak or Taino, right?
Yeah.
They didn't teach us they took our language for us. But we do that to one another. And, it's been, so Puerto Ricans and Dominicans are the same people. And and people are gonna come. I don't have Twitter, so don't waste your time. But there is the same people. Cuba and Puerto Rico were called the same bird with two wings, right? And so you look at these people and they're told, it's all white supremacy. It's like, oh, you got good hair. Dominicans are darker. They closer to Haiti. They got Haitian blood. Haitian people are Afro Latinos. Technically, they're from Española. They belong to us as well. All of that stuff is foolishness. Because if you go to Puerto Rico and you go to the Dominican Republic, you see struggle. And every single day they tell us, but you're not like that. Well, you a citizen. Are you really a citizen? Because when the hurricane came, the only papers they threw at you were a bounty.
Okay, so I'm going to cut that clip back there because I think the point she was making was great and echoing volumes even to the conversation we were having, just based around, even you were saying like the language being used and stuff like that, and the identity where people's, she said they're not identifying with the struggle no more in a sense with each other, but instead the difference is, and I'm from here and you're from there, and that kind of mentality that's been implemented through racism and white supremacy.
This shit is it goes beyond even that sometimes. Even the dark Hispanics, Latinos, the dark ones, the light ones treat the dark ones different.
Yeah,
because they told me they treat them different.
Yep.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, they call that colorism, and it still pervades to this day, and not just within that community, within many communities, even within a lot of people within the black community, still have
Hell yeah.
a colorist mindset. But within I guess the globalization through colonialism and just what we see with the state of things on the planet at the minute, there is a lower regard at the most points for black people or people of black descent or whatever. So it's like I feel as though the association with dark comes with that negative connotation, which is why there is this, sort of crazy emphasis under lighter, which we see being played out, whether it's in the Indian community, whether we see it's in the Asian community, the Mexican community. It's kind of sad at the same time, but that's why they call it white supremacy, because it's a mindset of,
It's a mindset. You're right.
yeah,
It's a mindset. And who said it? The white person. The white person is the one who said it and structured all that shit. But I'm gonna tell you, it's like it's race even within your race. Everybody has racial issues even within their race.
of course.
Like they'll like you know what I'm saying? It's so much like you go to a Dominican and say, "Are you Mexican?" and watch what happens. You feel me? Like it's so much racial shit that goes on.
That's
Like
what she was just saying. That sister was just saying that on that clip, that people have that, that division where they come from the same two branches of the same tree in a sense, but you can't tell them that. I mean, even in the some of it be dying out to some degree in the black community, especially even like I speak from the Caribbean aspect, where at one point, if you call the Jamaican like you say they're from anywhere else like Trinidad or hearing that, they they're taking that as an offense. Whereas I think now the kind of appreciations there, where it's like, okay, we can have misnomers where people are from, because I look at it like you've got your citizenship and then you got your nationality, so we got to look at what nationality and sort of bloodline and stuff people belong to, because your citizenship is just where you reside, and that's just where you staying at.
I think it's a bunch of hogwash, if you ask me. People is people.
Yeah, it's all politics. Well,
People
we've
is
been
people,
bound
bro.
with these terrestrial terms by the system that we're forced to have to live under. So whether we agree or not, we're bound by it. When we go to school or you go to certain things and you got to tick these boxes and giving your ethnicity and stuff, like a lot of us. I agree with you. We would want to be free from a lot of these confines and labels and stuff which have been cast upon to us, but I digress. We've got to try and at least explore some terrain for the next generation that maybe they can get through a bit easier, because we know there's a lot of struggle out there, as even exemplified by today's conversation.
I've been saying the earth needs this world in America and beyond needs an upgrade. They need to get rid of these Confederate ass laws that's still going on from yesteryear. How you gonna have these same laws in 2023? You know what I'm saying? This world needs an upgrade, and that's all it is to it. The police need an upgrade. They need to have start having undercover police going up in there in those police departments and checking. Because right now it seems like the police is getting out of hand. You know what I'm saying? I just heard about that thing in Atlanta. They just killed the protester out there in Atlanta. You know what I mean? The police, and then but was the funny thing about, I don't mean to jump too many subjects, but was crazy about that situation is 5 black cops that's supposed to have did the wrongdoing. They sure did put them up there real quick. You know what I'm saying? All 5 of them. But then it's so hard to get one white bad one. You know what I'm saying? He had to really blatantly be doing something. Somebody have the camera up his ass for somebody to even do something or even speak about it. They look like they trying to go full steam ahead on these 5 black dudes. You know what I'm saying? So, there's so much going on in this world.
It's a lot in the world and the system, as we said. We do apologize for the language and stuff using in some of this episode and stuff. We know that we generally don't have young people, and our content is not for kids, but we do try and express ourselves as naturally and stuff as possible and as passionate at times. And some of the clips we shared of JT and a few of that stuff did have a bit of language and stuff in there. So we apologize for anybody if they've got sensitive ears. However, your ears can't be too sensitive if you tap into our conversations, because we're gonna go deep and we're gonna look at things from a real standpoint and aspect and stuff like that, which is why we enjoy even just being able to look at just the different things going on around the world, as chaotic as it is, and just give our slice and our take on it, and just explore things that we're learning from at the same time, but we're giving other people game that they can learn from and stuff at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we not trying to tool our crew it to death and curse. Um, sometimes how we talk, which is sometimes it don't even seem like this. Like we were even
Yeah, I
recording.
mean, we talk natural. We ain't really tripping off it, but it's just sometimes we I say stuff for the benefit of because we're on the air and stuff for the benefit of obviously the platform and YouTube and stuff because sometimes these people like to trip. Obviously, we're being broadcasted with the audio on this on other platforms where it's fine. They're not tripping off like the any explicit or anything like that. But YouTube, they got settings now where you've got to specify. I've already specified none of our content is made for kids whatsoever. So it just means that when kids go on YouTube, they can keep it like I guess safer, so certain things won't pop up in their feed. The likelihood is they just what I mean. But
Yeah,
as I said, we ain't trying to discourage young people from listening to us too. But with the right supervision. But yeah,
yeah.
man, this stuff with JT, hopefully they get to piece it out. We know ultimately, like we were saying, there's been a history of peace and connectivity between the communities, not just within hip hop and stuff, but even at a fundamental level, at a street level and stuff. So I think it's these confines and just other elements and stuff of society that are just leading to more frustration and more separation between people. I'm not saying if these allegations towards bad business are right or wrong because we do know JT has been called out in the past by others in regards to different elements of business, but when it comes
Hey,
to
but you know what though?
when it comes to business, I was just gonna say who hasn't, what major company or organization or corporation or figure hasn't been called out for some kind of business indiscretions or what somebody feels is, So I don't really get into all that stuff when it comes to people business. But
All
I
I would
do
say is JT,
I
you
will
better
say if he ground, then he
you
should
better
be
do some right business, brother, because them essays ain't nothing to play with. They ain't nothing to play with. I'm trying to tell you. He know that, but you know what I'm saying? If he feel like he right, he right. But them essays ain't nothing to play with. I'm trying to tell you.
yeah, well, I ain't gonna do too much deeper to get to the bottom of the issue, but I thought it was a good build, just even around the conversation of just looking at things from a racial and even a geopolitical aspect. Because as I said, out here in the UK, we don't have that Mexican community and stuff per se. We have other communities and stuff that are, I guess, maybe akin to or similar in some shape, form, and fashion.
And he put it on La Raza. You know what I'm saying? And he put it on La Raza. He gonna have Kid Frost and all of them out there on JT if you don't watch what he doing. He put that
Kid,
on the Raza. You know what I
kid,
mean? And,
kid
and the
Frost, stop it.
Raza.
They're gonna say you poke. Stop it. They're gonna say you poking fun. Uh,
And I love the song La Raza. Big up to Kid Frost. That's my homeboy too. He used to be on Ruthless. What's up, Frost?
yeah, no, definitely. Shouts out to all the essays, the Tongans, the Usos, the Negros, everybody, man.
The Serranos, the Norteños, all of them, 18th Street, MS-13, all the whole shebang.
Remember, Curtis Mayfield said it the best. He said, "Brothers, sisters, whiteys, Jews, blackers, crackers." He said, "If there's a hell below, we
We
all
all
go."
shit.
So,
You feel me? And we don't want no beef with the Mexicans, man. You gonna mess all the food up, man. I'm from LA. That's all we grew up on Mexican food. You gonna mess all the food up, man.
I'm jealous, man. Y'all got the best culinary spots.
Man, what? El Cholos and Chabelitas and all that shit in LA. That's what I'm saying. I don't know nobody want no problem with the Mexicans. You need the Mexicans.
Like we got on commercialized Taco Bell out here. We ain't got nothing
Oh
close.
man, y'all missing out, bro.
We
Y'all
ain't got we
missing
ain't
out.
got nothing close to an authentic place. So
Oh, bro. Watch when you come to LA. I'll take you to some spots. I'm talking about they food. They make this. They make it quick, man. You know what I'm saying? They make it quick. You can't come on, man. You ain't gonna be able to, go too long without something Mexican involved. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be able to go too long without that. The horchata and all that. You come on, man. Let's see. Let's stick together.
it's all love, man. On that note, we definitely go shout out to JT. For the stuff he is doing out there on a positive aspect with just building things back up out there and stuff, and taking some of these game knowledge that is learned and acquired over the years, and putting it to use, and educating some people out there. So shouts out to him for that. This is the DOA TBM. We're gonna be back chiming in on some topics real soon. Your boy Fonzie Neutron, Floss Angeles, aka Floss Mode, backtoonline.com. Peace. Yeah.